And we are back for episode 12 of the Sage's Nook. And guess what? In our previous episode, we promised that Mitch and I would be doing this together in the same spot. We lied. We were too busy. We were just too busy when Mitch came in. We were very jam-packed with the schedule, and we just didn't get to it. So, and honestly, I think that's going to be the best way that we kind of just do this podcast going forward whenever we have time to do it. It is actually a lot of work recording and editing and putting out the podcast. It takes a long time. So we're just going to kind of do it as we feel we need to, as we have stuff to talk about, because both of our schedules are getting very busy with very cool stuff. A lot more will come as time goes on, but we're playing a lot of D&D. We're playing a lot of Warhammer. We got that going on for us now.
Yeah, Turbo Dork fucking engage. It's full throttle. All thrusters are firing. We're going for it. We got Warhammer. We got Dungeons and Dragons. I've started up my game, like I said last time. That shit is officially started. It's go time. It's go time. We're busy as shit. This might not come out as often as it used to, but we're going to try.
Yeah, and I think if we stagger it every, 2 or 3 weeks, we'll also just have more shit to talk about. We can always yap and yap and yap, but having enough stuff to actually talk about that is, relevant or even just entertaining in the first place, that can be kind of tough. You didn't come to listen to us yap about how we're going to yap about D&D and nerd shit. So why don't we get into it? Let's talk about some D&D we've played. Last session, or last episode, I talked about how I almost TPK'd the party off of a horrible mistake that I made. I was buffing goblins to an ungodly level accidentally, but everything's good now. We just ran another session, our follow-up session yesterday, and they're in a druid grove. Everything was very peaceful. Nobody died.
Yeah, wind down RP session after the brutalist session we had previously. Definitely,
exactly.
Let's take a chill pill. Let's take a long rest. Let's chill out. Let's do some lore.
Exactly. And I think, honestly, this might be a good thing. We're kind of free-balling this episode. We have no talking points, anything. We just got on, said we're going to do the podcast and going to take it from there. But I think a good place to start would be to, let's talk about downtime sessions, because this is a touchy subject amongst the D&D community. It has garnered a lot of discourse, and even I have some pretty strong feelings about downtime sessions. I've voiced them in my TikToks and all that stuff. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how to do a downtime session properly. Now, of course, this is going to completely depend on how you run your sessions, how your party mingles with what kind of D&D games they're playing and all that stuff. Just in a general sense, we're talking from our perspectives, and our perspective is a perfect medium of very good, deep first-person roleplay and also combat. We like to kind of meet those two in the middle and make that beautiful Venn diagram where they meet in the middle, and it's a perfect combination of both of these sides of the game.
Skyrim isn't a great game because you get to do a lot of fighting. That is an important part of the game. But it's a great game because you're the fucking Dragonborn. You've got the lore behind it. You kill dragons and people are like, oh my god, you just ate that dragon's soul. That was cool as fuck. Let's let's give this guy a house in the fucking city. Like there's lore, there's all this shit. You are a badass. It's not just, I'm just a guy who fights shit.
And I think the best way to, I think that the thing is, D&D, I see D&D in two halves. You have the RP side and then you have the combat side. Both of these halves are meaningless without each other. You need them both in a game to have weight and to have character arcs and to have fun game mechanics. You need them both to mingle in this perfect way. And I think a downtime session is one of those things that can very quickly and easily become boring, especially if you have people that aren't extremely into roleplay. But even if they are into roleplay, D&D is a whole game with a whole bunch of mechanics for a reason, because D&D is a game where you fight monsters. You fight monsters.
Yeah.
It's one of the core mechanics of the game. That's why you have the abilities you do. So when you are actively choosing to run a session where you're like, okay, I don't think they're actually going to fight anything this session. This is going to be a very story-driven, very plot-heavy session. I think the thing to remember here is that when you are doing that, you need to ask yourself as the DM, what is the purpose of this session? What is this session fulfilling from a campaign perspective? They're not fighting anything, and that is the easiest way to kind of track, are we getting things done? How many monsters have we killed? That's a very easy way to understand how you're progressing through the campaign. That's usually how campaign parties level up, as you've killed enough monsters to level up. literal XP, or you've beaten all the monsters in this arc and you've defeated the boss. So you level up, milestone. So that's the way you kind of track all of that. So what happens when you're doing a session, when you're running a session that doesn't involve any combat or any strictly, easily trackable way to understand where the story's going? Well, you need to have a purpose for it. Mitch, I'll let you kind of elaborate here a little bit.
You need to have a purpose for it, and you need to rely on your players. Again, the way we run the game and the way we play the game is the players are just as involved as the DM when it comes to making the story, for the most part. The DM makes the story, but the characters are what give it, that flavor, because the characters interact with the story. They kind of write the path. Tom puts the tracks down. We kind of choose what tracks we're going through. For RP sessions, it relies heavily on characters or players who know their characters thoroughly and want to progress different aspects of their characters that aren't just fighting and leveling up. My character in Tom's campaign, Kronos, most of his downtime, he's a paladin. He does a lot of praying, and I'll role play a lot of. He'll write scripture, and he'll set down candles, and he'll put stamps, almost like Space Marines when they put the seal on their armor. He does that a lot with his armor. He does a lot of spell scroll writing. So whenever he gets some downtime, he wants to write spell scrolls. And there was actually a cool RP interaction a couple sessions ago where I was writing spell scrolls, and another party member thought that was cool. And they're like, I want to try and learn how to do that. And we had a role play session, my guy teaching him how to do it. He doesn't know how to do it because his character technically doesn't, but it was a cool moment. And that's kind of like what you need in an RP session, of characters who have objectives and goals to progress their characters that aren't just fighting and leveling up. It's like, my guy wants to learn more about magic. He wants to be better at writing scrolls. He does all of these prayers and rituals because it's what he would do the way I've written him. But also it's like, he's also trying to contact his deity, and he's trying to find peace so he can kind of solve the mysteries of his life. And that's just characters with objectives. When you give them a downtime session to role play and there's NPCs to interact with, they'll eat that. They'll take it and run. They'll be like, oh, finally some downtime. I can do all this random bullshit I've been thinking about.
Oh yeah. And that is exactly what we did. I've talked about this campaign a little bit through the last few episodes, but it's very gritty. It's very, I wouldn't say grimdark, but it's like a dark fantasy campaign. Mechanics are a little tougher. Long rests take a little longer. Things like that, just to kind of up the stakes of the game. It's going to be lower level. I don't think we'll ever get past level 12. But they're all level 3 right now. And yeah, I almost TPK'd them in the session prior. So it was very much kind of like this. All right, let's just take it easy. Let's relax for a session. They found themselves in this very safe, very peaceful, serene druid grove. They had some time to themselves to rest up and explore a little bit, talk to a few people. And then we had a big kind of, I guess, climax at the end of the session where it kind of shot them forward into the next storylines. And that's a good thing to kind of segue this into. So to kind of wrap up this initial thought, if you are running a role play session, completely role play, people call them shopping sessions, just make sure that there's a purpose to it. Make sure that there is an end goal in mind, or that they understand okay, you have a time limit in here. You have 2 days of free time. What do you want to do? And just understand that there needs to be some sort of driving factor still. Just because they're resting doesn't mean that there isn't a goal in mind. So take that. But what I wanted to say was, if you are ever at the end of a specific arc, or if you are at a very nice breaking point in a campaign and you're there's not really any glaring loose threads that of course every character is going to have their backstory. Of course every character is going to have things that they want to do, but from a plot point perspective, if you look at the campaign as a whole and you're oh, actually there's no clear area where to go next, then create some sort of device to tell them where they should go, or at least give them distinct options of what they should do. Usually the way that I handle this is some sort of big, massive lore drop through the means of magic. I've done this in all 3 of my campaigns, my long running campaigns now. In the first one, you guys went and do, actually, funny enough, a druid pond. In the Indigo Woodlands, you went through a druid pond and they all had visions.
Yeah.
Your guy had a vision of the artifact he needed to go track down. The druid had a vision of these of his ex-lover and what they were doing. And then The other guy had another vision. I can't remember what it was at this very second. But in this campaign, essentially, they were going through a druid pond again. It was kind of like the seeing ponds. They're called the verdant pools. You were about to say something, Mitch?
Total Thor, second movie Thor, where he goes into the pool and he's freaking out. He's like, ah,
I think it's in Avengers
visions.
too.
Is that Age of
I think it's in
Ultron?
the second Avengers. Yeah, he goes into the pool and he sees Ragnarok.
I thought he saw Ragnarok when Scarlet Witch cursed his brain.
And he did, but he saw Ragnarok again.
I think in
Dude,
Thor
he didn't
2.
see it in Thor 2. You know how many times? Dude, I've seen Thor 2 more than anyone on the planet because I'm one of the 5 people that actually enjoys that movie.
All right.
I'll fight you.
I won't fight you on Thor. You're good. That's you.
But anyways, yeah, they went into these seeing pools, and it essentially was like the lore behind it was like it's going to reveal truths for you. It might not answer your questions. It might just lead you to the right questions that you need to be asking, but it's going to guide you somewhere. It's going to guide you to where you need to go. It's going to provide you some sort of clarity in whatever form that comes in, and that comes in different forms for different people. So yeah, they all saw visions. I don't want to get too much into what I'm talking about in case I accidentally spoil something, but they all saw visions of like either I can't. I'll let Mitch explain
past, present, future. Like one guy is all about protecting the forest and that he grew up in, and it's kind of like his woods. He watches over them, and in his vision, he saw like the forest getting corrupted and destroyed, and then he saw it like weird shit happening. It's like, okay, well, something's going down there. And there's a key location that was in the vision. We got to go there at some point, kind of thing. So it's like quests for the future that we need to pursue, and or just like finding out more about your past and like, okay, well, I need to go do this kind of thing.
It was the Marvel end credit scenes. It's like just teasing like different things, and now you're like, okay, those are the things. Sorry, I'm burping a lot for no reason. Actually, I'm just drinking water, but. It was this teasing of things of like, you all have your own individual arcs. Now it's time for you to kind of choose where you want to go next. The seeds have been planted for every single one of you. You have some sort of mission that you have perceived from this. Now decide where you want to go. And that's exactly what it did. They all came out of the pool. They talked about where they wanted to go. They were like, we're going to solve this thing first, and then we're going to go try and figure out what the fuck this means. And now we have actual objectives again. We're not just sitting here.
And the thing is, if they have an objective already and you need a downtime session and you need it can be as simple as a shopping session. It can. If you have good players who have stuff they want to do in their downtime, like make potions, craft spells, go shopping, they want to go roleplay with some of the NPCs in their town. It can be that simple, especially if it's like after like a long run of like, oh, we've been in the woods for 2 weeks fighting and we just got out of a dungeon. Like that, like just a chill session. It's always like welcome for most players.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. Like my brain is programmed, and this is just default. The way that it's programmed is we need to have a fight. Like that. That's what my brain tells me when I'm planning a session is what's the fight going to be? What's the main climax fight going to be? And I have to actively sometimes tell myself this session actually doesn't require a fight. And I have to like actually ingrain that into my thoughts, because that's how we were brought up on the game. When we learned D&D, there was never a session where we role played, just straight up role play session without a fight. That's why we were playing. We were playing to fight, and then of course we got enlightened by Critical Role and blah blah blah. That's a whole different topic. But I really truly think that D&D is at its best when your players are genuinely role playing and invested in their characters and doing the funny voices and just giving into that whole kind of sensation.
Yeah, and don't get us wrong, we're not saying that every other session should be a role play only session. D&D, half the game should be fighting, like at least half. Like it should be fighting, exploring, doing skill checks, challenges, getting lost, adventuring. Yeah, the role play can overlap with the other ones too, because you can role play while you're fighting. I do it all the time. You can role play while you're adventuring. Well, my character is interacting with this weird thing in a unique way because that's how he would do it. So
the best fights often are when the players are role playing and fighting at the same time, and you can only get those fights, those combat encounters, when the role play is good and your party is invested in the villain, or if it's a very interesting combat encounter. You can't just do that. You need to be invested in your character. You need to be invested in your character.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, you need to be invested in your character. Role playing doesn't necessarily mean talking in a funny voice. It just means taking your character seriously on a fundamental level. It's almost like just be respectful to your character, your imaginary person you've made. If you just treat them like a goof, or you don't do what you're almost like disrespecting your own guy. Which is kind of funny. Just think of any movie scenario. Imagine if Luke and Darth Vader weren't related and they didn't care about each other, and it's just evil bad guy versus Luke Skywalker who's a good guy. That fight would be so boring. You'd be like, I mean, it would be cool, but it's like there's no weight. In the movie, you're like, oh my God, that's his dad and he doesn't know it. And they're fighting and, he's toying with him. And like, there's so much drama. And then the reveal when he says like, I am your father. And he's like, no. And then he falls to his fucking doom and is saved by catching onto the fucking satellite. It's like, if that wasn't there, you'd have no weight. That scene it'd be a cool fight, but then you'd be like, okay, forget about it. It'll be a throwaway.
Exactly. So yeah, it's this whole dynamic thing, and downtime sessions, when you need, like, you'll feel it when you need one, when you're like, oh my God, every session is just one fight after the other, or like after you finish a giant dungeon crawl and it's like constantly tense. Sometimes just a downtime session where you're exploring the city just feels good to be able to just kind of like sit there. You don't have to lock in, because like when you're in intense encounters, you're locked in, you are strategizing, you're trying to understand, your brain is working in overtime. And when you get that one session at the end of it all where you're just like, oh, all right, I can just be funny and go to shops and make jokes with my party. It's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, there's no pressure. The pressure's gone. You're just like, oh, we're safe. It's like when you get to the safe zone in Resident Evil. You're like, oh, I'm not getting chased by an 8-foot-tall zombie man anymore for 10 minutes straight.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this kind of ties into another thing that we could even talk about for like Warhammer. We started playing Warhammer a lot recently, and in order to play the best Warhammer games, we could bring the roleplay aspect into the Warhammer game. I'm not saying roleplay is your character, but I'm saying like the best Warhammer games you ever play are like, there's a cool scenario. You're on Zeplar 9, the dry dust moon planet. There's ancient artifacts buried in the ground, and there's a telecoms receiver hidden in this building on the map. It's one of the objectives. Marshal Mitchell and his Black Templars are raiding this moon, and orcs are here jumping out of the mountains as they live there. And they're here to recover the artifacts. And then it forms this whole story, and it's like, oh, it just makes the game so much more fun. And, as people say, one of my friends says this a lot, dice tell stories. And then if you roll good, you roll bad, the role play will make it fun no matter what, because it's like the orcs all jump out of the hills and they roll horrible. So they're all tripping and falling down, and then they miss all their attacks or whatever for the turn. And everyone laughs around the table. It's stuff like that. It's like finding that. I've noticed that that's the best way to play Warhammer since we've just started. We're pretty new to the hobby, so.
Yeah, I've only played 10 games. I counted them all last night. Guess how many games I've won? Zero! I've won 0 games!
Yeah, bro's not having a good time.
I'm actually having a great time. It's just my combat patrol. So for those of you, we're now a Warhammer channel as well. So just get ready for that, because we are hopelessly all in.
Yeah, we're embracing dorkdom. We're embracing dorkdom. We're going turbo dork. That's why I said at the start of the episode, when you start bringing in Warhammer into your life, it's like, okay,
yeah,
turbo dork engage.
Yeah, it is such a time suck. It is such a money pit,
and it's so awesome.
It's great. I wouldn't have it any other way. It is competitive. Like, you're not, you're telling a story, and like Mitch just said, it's much more fun when you both understand that, like, you're here to create a cool story and kind of use your imagination to bring the war table to life. But first and foremost, it is a competition. You are trying to beat the other person.
Yes.
D&D isn't like that. And that's kind of what I like about it, is it's this completely, like you just said, it's like the other side of the same coin. D&D's very, you're working together, and there's this very intricate, in-depth story, and you have so much like diversity in how you can make your character, and you can really fall into that character and role play them. And then Warhammer's like, this is my guy. This is Marshal Mitchell. You're sitting on the holy water of destiny over there. My guys are going to come kill you.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. And, similar to D&D, also although more rigid and a lot more rules, you can still kind of like customize your guys too. You can like make your faction look cool. Like my Black Templars are different than everyone else's Black Templars, even though the rules are the same and the units are the same. Like they're painted differently, and I've used them differently. We were playing a game where just from like role playing in quotes, Tom's guys wiped my main leader's whole squad, just annihilated them, and I kind of was like, oh fuck. This is a bad situation for me. And he charged my leader with all of his dudes, and he was in trouble. My guy somehow survived. And in that moment, I just started role playing him like a crazy psychopath, like a tornado of weapons in the middle of his squad, a fucking meth head.
Like I call him steroid infused
Marshall Mitchell.
Abomination.
He's got like a Bane mask, so I started kind of role playing it that way. And then I was like, oh, this guy's got the Bane juice getting plugged into him 24/7. He is the stim freak. That's what I'm calling him. The stim freak, Marshall Mitchell. And every time he comes out of the truck, he just jumps out like fuck a psychopath. No words, just going in there to attack. And that's just something that we made up on the spot, and it's hilarious. And now I have my leader of my army is a psychopath, basically Bane from Batman. It's great.
We made lore. We made
lore on the spot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Warhammer is so much more fun than I ever thought it would be. But it is one of those games you have to want the hobby. You have to enjoy the hobby. Like it is so time consuming to put together the minis and paint them. That's something Mitch and I enjoy doing. But if you don't like that, oh boy, you better have some money to dish out to buy pre-painted, pre-assembled minis, because that's part of the game. That's part of the game, is getting your army and assembling it.
The good thing though is Warhammer is like the level up from D&D when it comes to dorkdom, and it's kind of like our transition was easier because I already had all the paints. I already had all the tools. Like I didn't have to buy all that extra stuff. I just bought the box and I was ready to go. I just put them together and painted them because I know how to do all that stuff. I didn't have to relearn how to paint. I'd paint D&D minis all the time. So the transition for us was easy. It was just, learning the game. So we only had to focus on learning the game rather than, burdening ourselves with how do I paint this? How do I put these together? How does this work? It was pretty self-explanatory because, we're fucking mini fiends.
Yeah, we have already painted countless minis. Assembling them was a new thing. Assembling them was a new thing, and that was cool. It was a little jarring at first because like they are small. Like I have a box right here of a tech priest, engine seer. And he's just this tiny little guy. And of course I'm used to it now, but like assembling these tiny little pieces, and you have to have like the special miniature glue. You can't just use super glue on these guys if they're too small. So you have to have like this really specific stuff. And it is definitely a little bit jarring to like understand. It's like trying to like learn a completely new skill with your hands. And you have to like relearn your fine motor skills and how to like carry these things and hold them and treat them. And it's like weird. It's like I was like almost a baby again, trying to figure out how to properly like use my body. Yeah.
No, it's definitely a strange go at it. So I can only imagine being a person who's never done any hobby work and getting into Warhammer. That must be like such a daunting task, especially if you don't like have friends telling you how to do stuff. Like, I don't know how you figure it out.
I mean, some people are built for it. Like, I had my friend over the other night on Saturday, and frickin', of course, he is a gamer. He plays a lot of D&D. He plays Magic, and he's just really in that scene. But he had never ever painted or assembled a mini before, ever in his life. We bought him a combat patrol, and he bought a combat patrol. He assembled it. After like the first one, he's like, oh, okay, I get this. And he just put together his entire combat patrol in like 5 hours. And then we played. It was awesome. If you have the money for it, and honestly, people say like, oh, Warhammer's a money, I even just said earlier, it's a money pit. It's so expensive. It's really not if you think about how much time you're going to invest into it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of those things. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Mitch.
It's you have to enjoy the hobby. And it's similar to, a card game, or it's similar to, any sort of collectibles game. Hell, even buying a video game. A video game is $60.
It's $70 if you're playing on console.
70 now, yeah. It's $70 for a video game. I could get a box of minis for that for Warhammer. That's actually pretty good. It's 5 hours of enjoyment putting them together. I enjoy doing that. painting them, making them cool.
And then painting them, that's even more time.
And that's not even with playing them yet. Then you can play with them in your army for forever until, they release the next model range and then replace all your models. But, that's years off. So it's like there's no, it's permanent. You get to keep your guys. It's cool. If you treat it like a hobby, it's not expensive. Yeah, you'll see those dudes who get into the hobby and they drop a fucking $1,000 on like 15 boxes immediately. It's like, yeah, that's insane. But if you just like, oh, I'm going to drop $60 on Warhammer this month on a box of guys. Okay, that's $60. Like that's like that's not a lot.
It's not a lot. That's a trip to a bar. That's not even a night out at a bar.
For hours of enjoyment to yourself when you're like after work or you're chilling after the gym, just like painting your minis and putting them together. So if you're a hobbyist, it's perfect.
For example, the kind of intro boxes to Warhammer are called combat patrols, and they're kind of like beginners boxes. Like, hey, here's a very small army for you to assemble and paint, and now you can play the game mode called combat patrol, and you just have like your all-in-one box set. Mitch bought me that for my birthday. What? It's probably like $130, $140. Like
$130, yeah.
I've probably spent a collective at least 30 hours assembling that and painting it, and I'm not even done yet. It is so cost effective if you understand how much time you're actually going to be putting into it, and that's why you have to enjoy it. But it's the same thing as any hobby. So it doesn't like necessarily like bother me. I get why people say like, "Oh, Warhammer, kiss your wallet goodbye." It's like, dude, this $120 box set is going to occupy me for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm not going outside.
Yeah.
I don't need to spend any more money on anything else except food.
And yeah, it is a money sink if you don't like the hobby, because you're going to just keep buying things and not putting your models together, not painting them, not fixing them. And it's like, oh, I have my whole army, but they all look like shit because you don't like to do the hobby part. Yeah, then it's a money sink. You're just wasting your money because you're not getting anything cool out of it. Yeah, you can play the game with trash-ass models on the board, but we ain't about that shit here. Fuck that. No,
I want my guys looking slick.
Yeah.
I want my guys fucking iced out on that battlefield. I spent 10 hours painting one mini, and he looks awesome, but it nearly killed me. And now, I happen to choose Adeptus Mechanicus as my first army. Big mistake. I wouldn't say I necessarily regret it, but I do recognize that it is a big mistake, because this is the next guy I got to paint.
Yeah, and for people who don't know, in Warhammer, there's like 30 different types of armies, and you kind of choose your flavor. So that's Tom's leader. That guy has
look at this fucking thing.
He has 1,000 little parts that are gonna have to be painted.
How the hell am I gonna paint this? I painted a guy, the guy that took me 10 hours. I painted him, and he is like a mini version of this. So like maybe 50% of the parts that this guy has. This guy is gonna test my sanity. And that's not even all of them. There are parts that I didn't glue because I knew it would be too difficult to paint if I glued them on first.
Yeah, so it can get intense. And if you don't like the hobby, then, let's just be honest. If you don't like the hobby, it's not the game for you, probably.
True.
Unless you want to shut out the money because the game is fun to play. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's not like, oh, well, the minis are cool, but the game is just kind of an afterthought. It's like, no, people join the hobby to play the game because the game's really fun.
Game's awesome.
And like, if you're willing to shut out the money and like pay somebody to do all that stuff, then it's worth it if you're going to be playing it a lot. It's great. Hobby's been treating us great. It's been playing. I'm the only person in our friend group to win 1,000-point game so far. No big deal. No big deal.
I haven't played you yet in a 1,000-point game. Things are about to change. I've lost 10 games in a row.
I did beat you 5 times in a row in Combat Patrol.
Okay, but one of those was a tutorial game where I had no idea what I was doing. Pretty much all of those, honestly, I didn't really understand completely what I was doing yet.
Yeah, but I was kind of holding your hand the whole time, and I wasn't really.
You were holding
I was
my
taking
hand.
it easy on you a little bit.
Also, the Combat Patrol I was using sucked ass.
Well, yeah,
but not anymore. I'm switching up my strat. We got Warhammer Tuesdays at my local game shop, and I am switching up my strat. I just bought a new mini. I have to assemble it tonight, but I'm using the other Combat Patrol. This guy's part of it.
The Doom Crawler.
The other Doom Crawler.
Look at that giant laser gun.
Big cannon. I bought this in direct response to Marshall Mitchell because he kept destroying my army.
And the thing is, Marshall Mitchell in the 1,000-point game, not even nearly my strongest guy.
Either way, first neutron laser target is Marshall Mitchell. I don't care where he is.
Look at that. Look at that role play. It's carrying over into the next game because he hates my guy so much.
He
He
wiped
is a grudge
so many
now.
of my squads. One guy just gets
Marsh-
in there and
Yep.
chainswords my guys in half.
Marshall Mitchell, the 9th Legion of the Black Templars.
So give Warhammer a try. It's a little bit of money, but everything's a little bit of money.
Also,
Buy
it-
Combat Patrol.
Yeah, buy a Combat Patrol if you're going to buy something. And don't
Yeah.
buy the Adeptus Mechanicus squad.
Yeah, it's the old one is good, but they don't sell that as a Combat Patrol anymore. I actually had to just I luckily had all the units already except one, which I just got. So I'm going to do the old Combat Patrol. But anyways, it is actually fairly easy to get into with these Combat Patrols. You literally just go into your game store, you say, "Hey, I'm looking for a Combat Patrol." You choose what Combat Patrol you want. It costs like $120, but again, it's going to take up so much of your time in a good way, and then you'll be able to play Warhammer.
Yeah,
when it's all simple.
I've played what 15 to 20 games of Combat Patrol since I got it, and I spent not necessarily full time, but like a few weeks of putting it together and painting them.
Yeah.
It it's actually the cost outweighs itself because I spent $120 for weeks of enjoyment and playing the game 15 to 20 times. Each time is like an hour and a half to 3 hours long.
And it's not even done. You can keep
keep playing
that for years.
It's not like a video game where it's like, oh, I put 10 hours into the campaign and I'm done, and then it's like, oh, I'm just bored. I'm gonna play something else. The thing about Warhammer is it's your army. You can adjust it. You can add new units. You can make up your own lore. It's like it's a different game every time. Everyone else has a different army. I've never fought this type of guy before. I've never fought these guys. I wonder how I'll do against my friend with this new unit. It's fun.
And even when the dreaded day comes where they update everything and they release the new mini set years down the road, you still have your minis. You can put them on a shelf and they become like a cool fucking decoration. Like all my minis right back there.
Do you know how
Love
much?
minis.
Yeah. Do you know how much money I've put into games that I don't play anymore, and they're just useless now?
Yeah.
They're just sitting in my Steam library or sitting on a shelf, and it's not even like cool to look at. It's just a case.
Yeah.
If you think about it that way, like the minis are way more valuable. Lock in on your hobby, turn on some nice music, and just like build some stuff. Like it's fun. It's nice. It's relaxing.
Yeah. Very
and it's
relaxing.
yours.
It is. Yeah. You can like paint it however you want. Yeah, it's yours. It just becomes yours. It's your thing. So fulfilling, especially when you finish a mini, especially a mini that you've taken a long time on, and they're based in it feels good.
And they look
put them
sick.
down on the map for the first time when you have a brand new mini that you finally finished, and you fucking throw it down on the map and it looks awesome.
Yeah. And then it gets destroyed in one turn on the board, and then you don't get to play with it for the next 3 hours.
And then my tank neutron lasers it blows it off the.
Your tank. Oh, okay, sure.
The Dome Crawler.
Sure.
Dome Crawler.
Hey, buddy, my Armiger's just gonna run up and chop that in half. Sorry.
Not happening, pal. Not happening, pal. Sorry, you're wrong.
Nah, you're wrong. But anyways, yeah. So Warhammer's been cool. The lore is awesome. Everything's cool about it. The hobby's awesome. The hobby, honestly, the hobby Warhammer is almost better than the hobby D&D.
I think the hobby aspect 100% is better than D&D.
But do you include the world building and the story making of D&D a part of the hobby?
Yeah, I guess you would. It's honestly, it's like uncomparable. It's two sides of the same coin. It's like both of them scratch a completely different itch for me because I love Warhammer. Yeah, you can create lore and it's cool to kind of understand oh, right, this is a situation and we can kind of role play, not like a first person aspect, but just kind of role play what the strategy is and all that stuff. But D&D is you're creating, in-depth characters and in-depth stories, and you're able to explore that collaboratively with your friends. Warhammer is kind of the opposite side of that, where it's this is more competitive, it's more strategic in a way, and it's less role play heavy, but it's they both are equally satisfying to me in completely different ways. The one thing I like about Warhammer that I think it really has up on D&D is that when we are talking about just getting together and playing, one, D&D you can do with 2 people, but you need at least 3 or 4 or 5 people. 3 to 5 people is the perfect for D&D. Warhammer, you just need one other person. You just need one other person to play.
Yeah. And another huge strength Warhammer has, at least in the way we play D&D, is when you're playing D&D and you're heavy into your character and you're role playing, yeah, you can do some joking at the table and side chatter and stuff. But for the most part, it's you're locked in. with Warhammer, you got to be locked in like the gameplay and stuff, but it's much more of a chill, like you can talk to people around you, you can joke around, you don't have to pay
Yeah.
attention to like somebody talking the whole time. It's just you just kind of do your thing. It's like, oh, my guy's fighting your guy. Oh, he hit him, blah blah blah. So it's a much more, even though it's much more, I know I was saying D&D's the casual game and Warhammer's the sweat game. It's much more casual when you're with your friends to play Warhammer because it's not like you don't have to be so locked in. Even though gameplay wise, you have to sweat because if you don't play well, you're just going to get slaughtered.
And I also think another thing, especially from a DM perspective, it's a little bit different from a player perspective, but because I'm a forever DM, I love the fact that as long as my army is assembled and painted, all I need to do is show up. I don't really need to prep. I don't need to spend 3 hours beforehand making sure all the story beats are right and all this stuff, and that I have all my playlists selected. And it's just like, hey, dude, you want to come over in an hour and catch a game of Warhammer? I'll spend 10 minutes setting up the map. Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, cool. It's on. Like, that's all you need to do. You roll for the objective, you place your minis down, and you fucking play. It took 10 minutes. Yeah. And I love that. I love that. Not that I love preparing for D&D, but sometimes it's just nice to be like, oh, hey, I got a few hours to kill. Hey, you want to come over, play a game of Warhammer? Fucking that easy. That easy.
But yeah, enough about Warhammer for now. It's our new craze, so bear with us. But yeah,
we're locked in.
Locked in. But again, we're locked in on a bunch of stuff. D&D, my sessions are back. We're starting up Frostfire Valley again. Played our first session last Monday.
Oh yeah, so my favorite character's back, baby.
That went pretty well. It took a little longer than I thought we would, so I had to end it a little early. Again, like this is a party of 6 players, so it's kind of pushing that upper limit, and you can kind of tell.
Online.
So it's teeter-tottering the line of like too much going on for players. So in my headcanon for this game, it's going to be a little less roleplay heavy and free-flowing and more, I'm going to have some railroads a little bit, but there's multiple tracks going to other places, So they're going to be able to choose what they want, not necessarily in the first session because, I'm reintroducing all the characters. They're in a cool-ass, like, competition. It's like a battle arena kind of style Olympic Games for this barbarian tribe, city, kingdom thing. They just got into a gladiator arena. They fought a bunch of dudes, ended off the session
absolutely
on a cliffhanger.
Destroyed.
Yeah, he absolutely bodied this ranger guy, broke his spine.
I RKO'd him off a platform. It was awesome.
But yeah, so the session's cool. I'm excited where the campaign's going to go. I've got so much lore prep for this game, and I'm excited for the players to see it too. But yeah, they haven't even gotten to the best part of the competition yet, which I'm not going to spoil. But I'm excited. Yeah. All they know about it is you got to move a big fucking rock. That's all they know. So that's what the tribe leader told them, because the way the city works is there's 3 tribe leaders. There's one for each kind of aspect animal of the barbarians. There's the bear tribe, the wolf tribe, and the elk tribe. They kind of all vie for power in this Olympic Games style competition, and the party were chosen to represent the bear tribe. So they're kind of the power of the city is on the line right now for them to win.
Oh yeah, I'm invested. I love this campaign. I love my character. I love the story. I do like the setting too. So I'm happy to be back. Happy to be back as Krios,
the Leonin cleric.
The Leonin cleric of the Wild Mother.
Champion of the Wild Mother.
Giga Chad Lion Man.
Yeah, he does a lot of mewing. He definitely is mewing. Yeah, he's looks maxing often. Tom, you got to shave the beard to do that.
No, I can't shave the beard, especially now it's baked into my iconography.
It is. Your beard actually matches your profile picture now. It's gotten long enough.
Yeah, I literally can't shave it. I was thinking the other day, I was like I was getting a lot of food in my mustache one time when I was eating, and I was like, fuck, I might just shave this thing. I was like, oh wait, I actually can't anymore.
Oh well,
like my online presence is now associated with me having a beard.
Well, I saw some of our cousins. I saw some of our cousins a couple weeks ago, and one of them just kept saying how majestic your beard was. So you can't shave it. He's just
fair enough.
They were just like, dude, his beard's so awesome. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's big, and they're like, it's awesome. I'm like, yeah,
it's gonna keep getting bigger.
Yeah,
the beard's here. The beard is staying, especially summer beard. Summer beard, it's kind of a vibe. Summer beard with a Hawaiian shirt, unbuttoned Hawaiian shirt, a little bit of chest hair popping out, short shorts and flops. That's a fucking vibe.
That's a dude you don't want showing up at the bar.
Yeah, that guy's a problem.
That guy's a problem. Got the sunglasses
kind of
on
a
and the
vibe.
bucket hat.
Yeah, I'm excited for Colorado summer. It gets fucking hot. But
Dude, I'm so ready for
anyways.
summer too. It fucking snowed today.
It snowed the other day for us too.
It was like 60 degrees 2 days ago. I wore shorts to work. I was so mad. I'm so ready for it to be spring. I'm so ready for it to warm up, and it just won't. It just keeps dragging on. God, it feels like Frostfire Valley, my campaign. Just won't stop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just won't stop.
The winter was long and mild, which is actually not what I like. I like long winters, but I prefer them to be actual, like, harsh winters with a lot of snow and bitter cold. I love the bitter cold when there's snow. I love that. Like, I love it when it hurts to walk outside. I really do. But if it's just going to be like consistent, like high 30s, not cold enough to like really garner a blizzard, but just cold enough to where you can't go outside at all, it might as well just be warm at this point because it's now just shitty.
Yeah.
I like the two extremes. I like the extremes. But anyways, we're kind of coming up on time here. We had some things we wanted to talk about. More D&D, Warhammer. We're really locked into Warhammer right now. I can't stress that enough. After we hop off here, I'm probably going to paint more. I gotta get a couple models ready for Warhammer night tomorrow. You'll definitely see more Warhammer content coming from me in like my, in my shorts and my TikTok videos and stuff. But we're not abandoning D&D. D&D is still very much prevalent in our lives, and it'll be prevalent in my content. But I got a new hobby, so I'm gonna make new content about it.
New hobby. Honestly, I was thinking about maybe making some workout content. I don't know. I was thinking about just bringing the tripod with me to the gym, just recording some of my lifts. That might be fun. Talking to the mic, talk in my car, talk about my day, talk about Warhammer, talk about how I'm going to destroy Tom. You can get some insights. I might talk strategy just to the camera, alone some. I do a lot of thinking in my car, so perhaps I'll do some recordings of just me chilling before the gym, drinking my pre. I like to do this
pre-gym ponder.
The pre-gym ponder ritual. I started this in Florida when I used to live there. I'll sit outside the gym for fucking 40 minutes just thinking and like looking at my phone and drinking my pre. Enjoy. It's like your quiet time of the day. It's like, I'm about to go destroy myself for 2 hours.
That used to be my sauna time at the gym. I would go into the sauna before I actually started my workout, and I'd sit in there for like a half hour, eyes closed. I would like listen to a podcast or listen to Critical Role or even just listen to music, and I would just be alone with myself.
Just chills out. Feel like even when you're alone, you feel like you're not alone with yourself. You really got to just kind of check out every once in a while and just kind of sit in your car and just enjoy your pre and not listen to anything. Just kind of like take in the moment. But I have a lot of thoughts and I have a lot of shit to talk. Like I feel like I want to talk about or think about. So, I might be talking about some stuff. Might start recording some videos. We'll see.
Yeah, and we got bigger things coming too. It's hard to. I don't want to sound like your local DJ where you're like, big things coming. Stay on the lookout. But we're doing stuff. We're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes and trying to make some cool things happen. So in the last couple weeks, I've garnered a lot more followers. So if this is your first time watching the podcast, first off, what the fuck are you doing on this episode? Go back to the beginning and watch it from the beginning.
Yeah, we tell these fuckers every week. Why the fuck are you watching this one? Why?
But if this is your first time tuning into the podcast, like we said, these will be coming out periodically, but there will be a lot more content coming. And I'm excited. I'm excited to keep going down this road and keep following this content creation adventure that I've been on, at least very seriously, for the last probably 6 months to a year. So we got a lot of cool stuff that we're trying to work on and make happen. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Mitch, you got anything else to say?
Warhammer, sponsor us and send us minis and we'll review them.
Yeah, send us all the minis. Send us the Leviathan box set, please.
Yes, I actually really want that. Even though it's not available anymore.
But anyways, that's all we got for today. We'll see you next time.
Let's go. Peace out. We out. Let's go. Woo!